Welcome to a brand new episode of Blue Haze Dreamers on Johnson's Court. Today with me, I have
My boy Nathan Beagle.
He's here today with me. We made a podcast the other day on the drive, so go check out his channel. We talked about the playing tournament there and a little bit of the NFL and other things. Where can we check out the drive at? What are all the channels and places that
Well, you can
they can
type
go
on YouTube where you will find this nice podcast. You can look on Facebook. We have a Facebook page, The Drive, and we have an Instagram page. Go check that out. We're on pretty much almost every social media. So go show some love and go show some love for this podcast and everything.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Beeks. And before we get started, how have you been, Beeks? I know you haven't been on this podcast for a while. We did make some basketball videos earlier yesterday. I'm probably going to play today. It's going to be a hot one out today. And we're in here in the library getting stuff done. But how have you been?
Great. We just started off some summer classes, taking a law class for the first time. I am not excited about that.
Sounds hard.
Yeah, law just confuses me. I'm not a big reader myself, and for someone to go into law, kind of have to be good at reading. So, it's going to be a little struggle for me, but we'll get there. It's the start, but, we'll get into that grind, that mode, that routine, and hopefully, we'll get it rolling.
Well, that's why we're in here in the library today. But we figured that we'd make a podcast before we get started on work because procrastination is key. Sorry, I just woke up. We both did, so our brain's not working properly yet.
Start of the day, start of the grind.
Exactly. So we're going to go ahead and get into it, and we will talk about last night's game. That was, we'll talk about Tuesday because I made a recap of who I thought was going to win and who I thought was going to move on and whatnot, and so did Beeks. And so, Beeks, why don't you tell us about the first game between the Hornets and the Pacers?
Well, I was ill-informed that Gordon Hayward was hurt and not playing, so that was kind of a factor, but I was pulling for the Hornets. I thought Rookie of the Year candidate LaMelo Ball would come through, and Pacers being a little banged up. But, man, Doug McDermott came out to start the game out. When he come out to play, he keeps just going off, scorching him that first quarter. He had 16 points.
16 points,
That's
yes, he did.
Crazy. And they just basically rode with that momentum the whole game, and it looked like the Hornets didn't even want to be there. They were just coming down the court. I think they literally shot 8 threes in a row, in possessions, just pulling it, missing everyone. And you live and die by the three. Well, they died that game.
And the score was 144 to 117. So they got blown out there.
Took the over on that game. Congratulations.
Yeah, good for you. But like you said, you had the Hornets winning. I had the Hornets winning just because the Pacers were banged up. But then Michael Brogdon played and Sabonis played, and he almost had triple-double, 1 assist shy of that. But it's good to see the Pacers are going and playing for the 8th seed. And Beeks, who are they going to play for that 8th seed?
They're playing Jason Tatum. Actually, they're not playing Jason Tatum. They're playing the Washington Wizards. I was looking at that screen. We're about to start talking about that game, except we just woke up. But now they're playing Russell Westbrook in the Washington Wizards. Russell didn't have the hottest game, and now he's going to have a chance to rebound against the Pacers, who he's been dominating all year. So, Riley, who do you got versus Pacers and Wizards? I know you a big Pacers fan.
I predicted the Wizards to beat the Celtics, and that didn't happen because Russell just pooped the bed, however you want to say it. He walked out in the fourth quarter with 6 minutes left to go, very frustrated. So, like you said, he hasn't been able to dominate the Pacers all season long in the 3 matchups I believe they've had. So, I think it's going to be a good game, but you know what? I'm going to root for the Pacers this time, and I think the Pacers are going to make that 8th seed, and the Wizards played well this year. They were able, Bradley Beal and Russell, they were able to play pretty well. But if they're going to lose like they did and not play well versus Celtics, who Jason Tatum had 50, so, that's pretty crazy. Kemba played pretty well. That team did play pretty well, but, I just see the Pacers come out on top if they can do what they can in. Like they did against the Hornets, I believe they can do the same versus the Wizards. Might be a little closer game for sure, but I think the Pacers are going to come out on top.
It's going to depend on what Russell Westbrook we see. If we see what we saw against the Celtics, the Pacers can pull through. But if Russ has been doing against the Pacers all year, then I think we'll see more of the Wizards.
So who do you got?
I'm an avid Russ supporter.
Okay.
He does get a lot of slander, so I'm going to pull through with him on this round.
All right. So we've got Pacers over here and Wizards over there. So we'll see. So now we're gonna move on to the games that happened yesterday. Biggs and I, we watched the games, and oh my gosh, the first game we thought was gonna be a blowout. When we were watching that game, the Grizzlies were up by 20 at one point, but then the Spurs were able to come back and make it a pretty close game, and they only lost by 4, 100-96. But I had the Grizzlies winning this game, and so did you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we wanted the Spurs, to win with Greg Popovich and stuff, but they didn't play too well. The surprising player of the game was Rudy Gay. DeRozan, he pooped the bed as well. So that just kind of sucked to see. What did you think about that game?
I think we were looking. I think it was on Facebook or Instagram. We saw a stat that says the first time in the Spurs 45 years.
Yeah,
that they missed back-to-back postseasons, which is kind of crazy.
To think they've been doing that for so long.
And just think that, 22 of those seasons were on a row.
That's
crazy. That's insane. My lifespan is the Spurs going to the playoffs.
And that's pretty crazy. Same here. So it was cool to see Ja have 20 points. I think he did. And Valanciunas, he had like 23 and 23, I think. So 23 points, 23 rebounds. So, they played well, and they're going to advance and play. Who do they play?
Down to the Golden State Warriors.
They play Golden State Warriors.
Lakers are in.
The Lakers are the 7th seed. They're going to play the Suns in the playoffs. And so we'll probably make a podcast tomorrow or something
before these
playoffs start. But we watched that game too. We were super excited. I know that was the game of the week before the playoffs started, really, to see who was going to win this game. And surprisingly, it was so close. The Warriors had the lead the whole game. Except almost up until the end of the third or start of the fourth, something like that. I forget when they took their first lead, the Lakers did. And the Lakers were able to win by 3. And, how were the Lakers able to win by 3?
Well, basically that third quarter, they just were turning the ball over. And
they had a lot of turnovers.
Basically, they were just shooting themselves in the foot. They were on the road, so the audience was hyped. We're finally good to have playoff basketball with the audience. I'm hyped about that. So
yes, sir.
I think it was just the poor start of both the superstars. Curry wasn't shooting it, so he couldn't get those points to start off the game. Give him the momentum. It took him a little bit, and then towards the end of the game, that LeBron hit that crazy shot
to seal the deal pretty far out. He hit a Curry shot.
He just chucked it up there.
With the shot clock expiring.
Aimed for the middle rim.
He did aim for the middle rim, so that was pretty crazy. It was a great game to see. I would have loved the Warriors or the Lakers winning. I did have the Lakers winning. He had the Warriors winning, but it was a great game to watch, and either team could have went on and won. So we weren't too sad to see who lost that game.
I was just hoping for exciting basketball,
and it was exciting. Curry had like 35 points, I think. LeBron had a triple-double, which I figured he was going to drop. Because I just didn't see LeBron losing this game. But, hey, they almost did. So it was pretty crazy to think just 103 to 100. But excited to see AD and LeBron in the playoffs. Playing the Suns, going to be kind of scary. The Suns are arguably, I believe, the best team in basketball this year. Besides when you look at, like, the Nets, because they have all that star power. But we are going to move on to today, which is Thursday, May 20th. And the Pacers and Wizards are playing today, and it is at the Wizards. So Pacers are on a road game. I did see a stat that they had they had the best road record in the Eastern Conference, which is kind of crazy to think, but they did. I forget what the stat is exactly. I saw it on the TV. Can't remember. But I know we kind of talked about this, but now kind of looking at it just then here today, it's the only game. It's at 8 o'clock. You still sticking with Russell and the Wizards?
I'm sticking with Russell. A home team right here. I know you're bringing up that they're good on the road, but I'm just going to roll with the home team on this one. I don't think Russell loses 2 in a row.
All right. And I think the Pacers are going to be able to pull it out. Next month is going to have dang near triple-double again. Michael Brogdon, I think he'll play well again. And so it really hurts that Chris LeVert's not here because he's another great piece of our offense. But hey, we were able to beat the Hornets, and let's keep that streak alive. But we're gonna go on and talk about the Friday game, and then probably wrap it up after this, and get started on homework, get started on the day, because we want to play some basketball today. It's gonna be hot today.
It's a nice day out. So
beautiful day.
Go outside, get some exercise, go play some hoops, do something, take a walk. It's nice outside.
Absolutely. 60 minutes a day, like we were told when we were growing up.
NFL plays 60.
Exactly. So the game kind of more, I feel like this game is more anticipated than the Wizards versus Pacers, just because there's not as many injuries. And, we're talking about Curry here, and we're talking about Ja Morant. Curry's superstar, obviously, and Ja Morant, a rising superstar, and what he's able to do with the Grizzlies. And they're 38-34, and the Warriors are 39-33. So shortened season this year, but this playing tournament has been super exciting. And this game is on Friday, the day before the playoffs start. So, Biggs, this game starts at 9 o'clock on Friday. Going to be a good game. Start the weekend right before the playoffs start. You have the Grizzlies at the Warriors. So, this is a home game for the Warriors in Oracle Arena, where they will have fans just like they did in Staples Center for the Lakers. So, who do you have winning this exciting last game of the play-in tournament?
This is the last game of the play-in tournament. Shout out to everyone who made this. I think this is a great idea. I think it's been a major success. A lot of exciting basketball. But Oracle is going to be popping. Oracle is going to be bumping. Oracle is going to be lit for that last game. The Grizzlies on the road. I know Steph Curry's going to be playing angry because he don't want to go home. He's had such a great season past couple of months. He don't want to go home, and he's on his own turf. I think that we saw Andrew Wiggins hold his own against LeBron last
blocking him
night.
left and right, kind of crazy.
That is kind of crazy. So shout out to him. I'm gonna be rolling with the Warriors on this one.
Rolling with the Warriors.
Stick with it.
Alrighty. Shoot. Like you said, this is going to be a close game. The Warriors taking on the Grizzlies at home for the Warriors. I think the Grizzlies are going to put up a great fight. I think the Grizzlies might have a lead for most of the game, but I think the Warriors are going to be able to come out on top. And I'm going to have to agree with you, Beeks. And I think Curry's probably going to go off for 30 again, more than 30. He's just, he's a superstar who he is. He's the best player of our generation, and, he doesn't want to go home. And so crazy I didn't have the Warriors making the playoffs this year, and they still may not. But with how they played versus the Lakers last night, and they're playing the Grizzlies on Friday, I definitely see the Warriors pulling out on top, and so
snagging that eighth seed.
Warriors
versus Jazz first round,
and I could see the Warriors winning that, which is so insane to say. But we'll talk about that in a later podcast. But thank you all so much for tuning in today and listening to our takes. It's going to be a crazy next today and tomorrow, and then when the playoffs start. So we're super excited. I hope you guys are all super excited.
I'm excited for some playoff basketball. It's going to be fun. I'm excited.
And we are ready to do this. So thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm signing off, Riley Johnson.
Nathan Beadle.
Have a great day, guys.